Welcome to Nothing But Nets. We got an interesting one for you today. We're going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets' highest paid player, Ben Simmons, and what are the best options for him. Not too often are there teams that don't really talk about their highest paid player too much. A two-time All-Star, former All NBA player, Ben Simmons, All Defensive player, etc. Not really playing a big option, playing a big option for the Nets this year. Not really having a major factor on the Nets. But we're going to talk about what the Nets can do with him, as there are some interesting options for the Nets and Simmons. Before we get that, please like, share, and subscribe. Net Nation, please give us a follow. I appreciate that. Smash the like button. It's free. Hit the subscribe. Get the notifications every single time we go live for the latest Nets news. So, Ben Simmons. There are three options as I break down. We can kind of weigh all three of them. The first one is seemingly popular. It might be prisoner of the moment type thing. It might be an emotional type thing. But send him home the way the Knicks did to Stephon Marbury. Take your money, stay away, go home. Don't even bother showing up. You took off a year in 2021. 21, 22, was that 2021? He took a year off. Let me get this right. He played, and then he's taken off a year before. I think that was 2020, 2021. Let me get that right, so I don't look like an idiot. 21, 22, he took off the year. That's right, 21, 22, he took off the full season. 22, 23, he played 42 games, started 33, averaged 6 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. Then he put up about similar numbers, 6, 6, and I think 8 rebounds last year in 15 games. So over the last 3 years, he's played 57 games. So that's an average of about 19 games a year. We can be just fine without him. We can not be a good team without him. The downside to that is you can't trade him, right? Like if you play him and he plays well, you might be able to eat some of his contract, take on a bad contract, and perhaps get a pick for him, a second-round pick, something like that. Get something in return for Ben Simmons. If you just send him home, you're not getting anything for him at all. You're simply paying his salary, and it's a complete loss, and you're just writing it off. He's just writing him off as a complete loss. The good news about that, the upside to that, is you don't burn any. I'm sure there are Keon Johnsons, maybe Gilliard. There are guys that you want to play at the point. There are guys that you want to get minutes to. Killian Hayes, perhaps. And if Ben Simmons isn't taking those minutes, you can give them to the young guys who you look to develop. Obviously, Ben Simmons is not a part of your future plans. He's not here beyond this year. I don't know if he's here at the end of the season. Hopefully, you can trade him. If you can trade him, you're going to have to play him. So the upside to not playing him is you can develop the other guys. You just don't plan for him. And look, he could help you win games. If you're one of those guys who just want to be in tank mode and lose as many games as possible, not playing him is a good option for losing. He's going to help you win. If you don't want to win, don't play him. If you do want to win, it's a little bit more interesting, right? There are the Net fans are divided. There are Net fans out there who think that this team can make the play-in, and we can weigh both those options on a different episode. But if you're one of those people that say, let's just try to get the worst record in the NBA, have the most possible ping pong balls for the best possible chance to land Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey, you don't want to play Simmons because he's a good player and he can help you win. And Simmons has to play, right? Like Simmons has to play this year because he's playing for a contract. It's his contract year. That's not my concern. He should have played the last 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's been. He's opted not to play, basically. And now I'm just asking him to go home. Don't show up. We don't need you here. You've been sitting out for 3 years, basically. We don't have a function here. We don't need you here. So you can send him home, and that's one option. The second option would be play him. That's the second option is you can just play him. You can start him. You can play him a bunch of minutes. You can play him 30 minutes a game. Use him. Try to have him helpful. Try to get him at his best. See if you can get yourself some shooters open. See if he gets Cam. We don't know who's going to be here. Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas. If you can get those guys, Jalen Wilson perhaps Uh, Zaire Williams, I don't know who's going to be out there, but get him open shots, get him easy baskets, boost their percentages, get their confidence, get them going. So if you use him, he has a function. He can make up for Cam Thomas's shortcomings defensively. He can guard the best player on the court, no matter who he is. I know his defense wasn't stellar last year, but it's still an upgrade. Right? It's still better than probably what you're going to have. So, and again, he has to play well. He has to play well. He's playing for his contract. He's playing for his career. So you bring him in, and he has to play. So let him be the point guard. Let him run things. Let him get open shots. Let him put pressure on the rim. Let him attack, and let him find the open shooters, and he can defend. Him in a backcourt with Cam, I don't hate that idea. It's not a terrible idea. He can get Cam open shots. He can create for Cam. I like to see Cam do more coming off screens, coming off hard, pin downs, things like that. And Ben's the guy that can get him the ball. And Ben can pick up for his what Cam lacks defensively. Look, Cam is an undersized 2. He's a 2. He's not a 1. He's a 2. He's an undersized 2, so he can't guard big 2s. And he can't guard – and he's slow. And so he really can't guard point guards, and he can't guard explosive 2s. Not that anyone can really guard, the Anthony Edwards or Jaylen Browns of the world, but he can't guard Maxey. He can't, guard point guards like that, and he can't guard bigger 2s. It's just, Zach LaVine or whatever. I don't know if he's going to play, but he can't guard bigger 2s, and he can't guard explosive 1s. So it's just going to be a problem defensively. You can put Ben Simmons on whoever that better player is, and then hopefully you can put, Cam Thomas can kind of take the role defensively that you see Jalen Brunson has in New York, where he kind of just sticks with the 3-and-D guy, and he can, I don't want to say thrive in that role, but it's a better fit for him that role than trying to guard a better player. And then the other team is just matchup hunting, trying to get a one-on-one with Cam Thomas. If you just have him stick with the 3-and-D guy, maybe the guy hits some shots, maybe he doesn't that day, but that's the kind of role you want him in. So the option of playing him is that, the downside in playing him is you might win more games. You could potentially win a lot more games if he's playing 30 minutes a game and he stays healthy and he stays on the court, which I know seems like a ridiculous notion. I understand that, but again, he's playing for his contract. He's playing for his professional future. So maybe he has a little bit more motivation to stay on the court. I don't know. If he does, he's a good player and he can help you win games. Do you want to win games? The flip side of that is if he plays well, you can probably flip him at the deadline get something in return, a second-round pick, 2-2, something like that. If he's playing well, he can help a competitive team. So the downside of not playing him is you can't flip him and you're just writing him off. That's an option. Playing him and hoping he plays well and hoping he can, like, Ben Simmons isn't going to make this team a winner. May you win a couple of more games if Ben Simmons is playing well? Yeah, probably. Is Ben Simmons going to make you, take a 16-win team and turn him into a 30-win team? No, he's not going to do that at all. So it's an option to explore and playing him and then hoping you can build up enough value that someone at the deadline will take him for a prorated amount of his contract and you can get something in return for him. That's option number 2. The third option is just trade him right now for a bad salary. The Nets will have a ton of cap space next year and the year after. Ben Simmons comes off the books. There's things that you can do. Can you just trade him now for a bad salary? And the name that keeps coming to my mind is Lonzo Ball. I like Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is reported to be healthy and doing well. This becomes an interesting scenario. Lonzo Ball is a pure point guard. He's tall. He gives you good size, and he can run the point. You don't really have a pure point. Schroeder's not a pure point. Cam Thomas is it too. Get Lonzo Ball, and then you can extend him. You could probably extend him on the cheap. If he plays well this year, he's going to his contract, his value is going to skyrocket because he is a good player. He just hasn't played. So if you trade Ben Simmons for him now, and look, you can do this. You might have to give Chicago 2-2s or something like that, but you can bring but here's the upside in that. The downside is it might cost you 2-2s, and you're bringing a bad contract, but it's not really. No one cares because you're dumping an even worse contract, right? So it's not. You bring him in, you extend him right away. You can extend him on the cheap because he's been hurt. You take a look at him, you see that he's healthy, you make the trade, and you extend him right away. He's going to have to sign the extension because if he gets hurt again next year, he's playing for the league minimum. You can sign him for much cheaper than You can sign for more than the league minimum, extend for more than the league minimum, but a lot cheaper than what he'll get in the free market if he plays well this year. So I would try to get Lonzo Ball locked up and signed to a multi-year deal before he plays. I don't know how he would say no to a multi-year deal given his. If you can get him for 22 or 24 million dollars a year, I don't think that's bad. Marcus Smart is making about $20 million. He's right. Malcolm Brogdon's making 22 right now. Lonzo Ball is making 20. You got Brogdon making 22. Connolly makes 22. Rozier makes 24. If you can pay him around what those guys are making, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. So if you could extend them 3 years, let's say $69 million, 3 years, $70 million, something like that. I don't think, given the new CBA, I don't think that's a bad deal at all. And I think he can be an average to an above average point guard in terms of production. So again, Lonzo Ball is a guy that's going to help you. He's going to make you better. But getting Lonzo Ball doesn't take you from a 16-win team to a 30. He's not going to make that much of an impact. But he is a good fit in the backcourt with a guy like Cam Thomas. He can create shots for others. He's long. He's versatile as a defender. He can do certain things. Lonzo Ball would be a good signing. So those are your three options. Which one would I pick? Send him home like the Knicks did to Marbury. Play him as normal and hope that he produces so that you can trade him. That's an option. All those are options. Or you can just trade him right now and try to get Lonzo Ball. Which one of those three options would I take? I would take option 1 or 3. I don't want to play him as normal. I don't want to start him. I don't want to make him a part of the offense. I don't want to get used to him to get acclimated to playing. I just don't want him around here. I want to either trade him for, if I can get a bad contract for him, I will take it on, but nothing beyond this year. I'm not going to take Zach LaVine because I don't want bad contracts moving forward. Lonzo Ball, something like that, where I may have to give two second-round picks, but that's fine because I'm getting rid of Ben Simmons' contract and I'm getting a player I think can fit my team for a couple of years to come. I would do that and then lock up Lonzo Ball. Those are the two moves I would make. I'd either just send him home, cut ties with him, be done with him, sit out the year, or I would try to trade him. What I don't want to do is bring him back. I don't think he has a place here. He has no long-term fix. He has no long-term place here. He's just not a part of the future, and he wasn't really part of the past. I don't see any reason in bringing him here. I can't start him, and then he plays 7 games or whatever, and then he says I'm out for the season again, and then I've got to rebuild my entire offense because my point guard is on maternity leave again. So I think, look, if they decide to play him, I understand it. It's just of the 3 options, that would be the last one I would pick. I would look to trade him. If I can't trade him, which I think I probably could if I take in another bad contract and give you some picks, I think I can get Lonzo Ball for him. I do. If Chicago's going to be in full tank mode, we're going to be in full tank mode. Here, I'll take this guy and give you 2 picks. You give me your bad contract. I'm going to look to extend him. Chicago doesn't want him. That's Chicago's decision. I certainly understand not wanting Lonzo Ball because of his injury history, but if he's healthy, I'm going to take a risk, a run on him because I think he's a solid quality player that I can sign up for relatively cheap moving forward. Those are 2 options. I just don't want him here playing and then getting injured and playing and getting injured. And then every 2 weeks we have an update report that Ben Simmons is doing well. He's expected to play. Then he doesn't play. I don't want that problem. We did that last year, and then he played a handful of games, and then he was out again. He's out again. I just don't want him in here. I don't want him screwing up the team chemistry. I don't want him. I want to develop a system and develop young players, and he's not a part of that. All right, y'all. Let me know. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Please smash the like button if you've not done already. Please subscribe if you have not done already. It is, what is it? August 3rd, 2024, from Texas to the world. Thank you, and God